Welcome back to the news at 10. Many Nigerians may have applauded the president's move to put modalities in place for a national conference, but for some others it may not be a welcome idea. One of those opposed to it is the governor of Kano State, Rabiu Kwankwaso, who noted that the conference will be only a waste of time and resources. During a media chat broadcast live on some radio stations in Kano, northwest Nigeria, Governor Kwankwaso also explained that the conference is not only unconstitutional, but would create division among Nigerians. He pointed out that members of the two chambers have the mandate to deliberate on national issues and take action accordingly. In the face of criticisms, the Imo State government has repealed the controversial Section 40, subsections 1 of its Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law. Now, the law states that women have the right to abortion in cases of incest and rape. While signing the papers that will affect the extinction of the law, the Imo State Governor, Rocha Sokoracha, said the decision has been taken as a result of the public outcry that greeted the law, especially from religious leaders and traditional rulers.
The expanded Samumbakwe Exco chambers, filled once again with Imo State top government officials, lawmakers, religious leaders, traditional rulers, and some section of the citizenry. The repeal of the controversial Section 40, subsection 1 of the Imo VAP law is the main purpose of this gathering. However, the Speaker of the Imo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Benjamin Owajimogu, debunked the allegations that the House of Assembly deliberately passed a bill that legalized abortion in the state.
Before this time, the punishment against rape was between 3 years and 7 years. The law made it mandatory that rape would be a life sentence.
The Imo State Governor, Roches Okorocha, also clarifies that contrary to the views held by his political opponent, the law did not emanate from him, but that he only accented to it after it had been passed by the state's House of Assembly, since it was a law that will be of great benefit to Imo citizens and women in particular.
But in all this, I take responsibility as the Chief Executive of Imo State. This government is sensitive to the plight of the ordinary men, the church, the masses, and the people that will govern. And our government does not believe in the act of propaganda. We believe in a just government and just administration.
The religious leaders present at the event commended the state government for the steps taken to repeal the law. They promised to work with the traditional institutions to come up with ways to protect women and children in the state. The high point of the event was the signing of the papers for the repeal of the law by the state governor.
It is commendable that you people went to the grassroots and unearthed these particular areas, sometimes maybe no-go area, and did justice to it.
It is expected that the repeal of the controversial abortion law will now return the harmonious coexistence that had prevailed between the church and the Imo State government.
First Bank, truly the first.
We move straight on to business news now. Here's Joke Rogers. Joke?
Thank you, Ijoma. Lending rates at the interbank eased this week to an average of 12%, supported by an ample naira liquidity from crude oil revenue and matured open market operation notes. 323 billion naira in oil receipts were distributed to the three tiers of government last week, while 93.79 billion naira in mature treasury drove the rates down. The secured open buyback closed at 11.5%, overnight placement eased to 12%, while call money closed at 12.5%. Dealers expect lending rates to remain at current levels into next week until the central bank debits banks again for a 50% minimum cash reserve required for them to hold government deposits. To the currencies now, the naira strengthened to its highest level in a week on speculation that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, one of the biggest sources of dollars to the market, may sell off an unspecified amount of the greenback. The Naira advanced 0.7% to 160.30 per dollar after weakening as much as 0.8%. It retreated 0.4% in the past 5 days and has dropped 2.6% this year alone. The central bank tightened controls of its auctions last week, replacing the wholesale system with resale sales from October the 2nd. Banks seeking dollars must now show proof that their customers have requested the foreign currency. In company news, Wema Bank PLC has completed a 40 billion naira share sale via special placement to bolster its capital base. The regional lender says it placed 26.67 billion ordinary shares at 1 naira 50 kobo per share to institutional and private investors. Shares in the bank gained 4% to 1 naira 2 kobo per share today. It has gained 88% since the start of the year. Wema Bank was one of the lenders forced to recapitalize its operations by the Central Bank of Nigeria in the wake of a financial crisis that nearly sank it and 8 other lenders. It became a regional bank in 2009. The bulls held sway at the Nigerian equities market today, with the key indicators finishing positive. Harriet Agbenye has a summary of today's trading session.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The bulls maintained their hold on the Nigerian equities market as the key indicators finished Friday's session in North Territory. The NSE All-Share Index appreciated by 0.26% to close at 36,925.82 points. The market capitalization ended at 11.76 trillion naira, also gaining 0.26%. While the top gainers of the day include Nigerian breweries, Mobil, Fourth Oil, Julius Berger and Unilever. On the flip side, the top price losers were led by Guinness Nigeria, GSK, Ashaka Cement and UAC Property. Transnational Corporation of Nigeria, WAPIC Insurance and Consolidated Hallmark were among the most actively traded stocks. Now, when stocks crossed the finish line, investors had traded over 536 million units, valued at 2.53 billion naira in 3,817 deals. Those are the day's trading figures. I'm Harriet Agbenye.
Thank you, Harriet. That's it on business news. On the news at 10, Ijoma returns shortly.
First Bank, truly the first.
The Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers has asked the federal government to intervene in the lingering strike embarked upon by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The national president of the union, Mr. Igwe Echeze, today in Lagos, also condemned the killing of students of agriculture in Yobe and asked the federal government to bring those responsible to justice.
As you are aware, a day to our 53rd anniversary as a nation, as students, as citizens of this great country that will be leaders of Nigeria, were killed in the College of Agriculture in Yobe. And the union, NUPENG, condemns it in totality. And that brings me back to what happened, last year in Adamawa, where some students were being killed, and nothing was actually, done to salvage the situation. Here we're experiencing another one again, a day to our 53rd anniversary. I want to say clearly that every citizen of this great country is as important as the president of the nation. And as such, Nigerians must, take this issue seriously when we lose our citizens in such cool-blooded manner. And I think it's a mourning day for us as a union, a mourning moment in losing such great Nigerians that would have been either presidents or ministers of this great country. And we are also using this medium to call on the federal government to pursue and to make sure those perpetrators are not freed.
Let's take a look at some security now. And the Kogi State Police Command has arrested a 4-man armed robbery gang in connection with the robbery on a bank in the Ajaokuta area of the state. The acting commissioner of police told journalists that the gang had attacked the bank around 6:45 p.m. before they were ambushed by men of the police. 2 members of that gang and a policeman died during the gun battle. The police also arrested a suspected car snatcher and a 53-year-old father who is purported to have been sleeping with his 2 daughters. Still ahead on the news at 10, the Lagos State government stakes $80,000 prize money for winners of the Tennis Governors' Cup. That's on Sports News. The Jones Gang.